Mr. President.
Mr. President, hope you don't mind a small fraction of this congregation coming over to the Aso Rock kitchen while you prepare this delicacy.
Yes, you are invited.
Thank you very much.
You heard it here first. So, sir, what is your favorite color?
Color? Somehow, the color I wear depends on the
Occasion?
not necessarily the occasion, but it depends on how I want to appear. If I want to wear agbada, for example, I prefer white. If I want to wear the traditional Niger Delta dress, I prefer navy blue, black, or maybe gray.
We've noticed.
In addition to that, Mr. President, since we're on the issue of color and fashion, some of the young Nigerians here would like to see you in a more sporty attire, maybe some shorts, maybe at the football pitch or at the basketball. What's your sporting culture like? What do you do for exercise, sir?
Of course, I exercise regularly. And if I'm going to the gym, definitely I wear tracksuits.
Okay.
A t-shirt.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe I might be pushing my luck by saying, if you're not watching the Super Eagles, maybe you're watching a football team in England.
I watch Super Eagles.
If you were not the president, sir, and you had to pick between being an actor or a musician, what would you pick?
It's always difficult to differentiate between the two because I love people in the entertainment industry. I would have loved to be both.
A man of many talents.
Unfortunately, I can't sing. I croak.
The advent of selfies has become quite rampant, and to the best of our knowledge, we've not seen you in a selfie, Mr. President. So, if the crowd permits, can we take the first presidential selfie?
Yes.
Agbemi.
No, it will affect my listening. I don't like it.
I should press the button. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sir, one last thing before we get into the serious things. You are you are the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Do you get to sleep? Sleep? How many hours of sleep?
On the average, I sleep between 1:30, 2 a.m. and wake up 6 a.m.
Wow.
Every single day, sir.
On the average.
Mainly Mondays to Fridays. But on Saturdays and Sundays, maybe a little more. Maybe you can add about 30 minutes. Let me use this opportunity to congratulate our army generally for what they are doing now. And let me also use the opportunity to call all Nigerians to encourage them. Cameroon, a few days back, people staged public program to commend and appreciate their armed forces. The challenge we are facing is much more than that of Cameroon. But here in Nigeria, sometimes we even admonish unnecessarily the armed forces. If you've been listening to us, you know that we've been talking about getting the appropriate equipment to confront the kind of challenges we have. Fighting terror, they are not conventional fighters. If you are facing a war with another country, both countries will obey international best practice. Everything about the world is controlled. The kind of equipment you use, We must not use the chemical weapons, we must not use biological weapons, we must not use caliber of weapons for these offenses or for this ring and so on and so forth. You don't, the criminals don't obey these laws. So to tackle them, you must get some specific weapons that you require. If you use certain weapons you're supposed not to use, the international community will be after you. Of course, they've been even accusing us of human rights abuses when Nigerians have been killed. That means that there are some categories of weapons that you need to prosecute such fight. And over the period, we've been trying to get. And at the beginning, we thought we were going to crush the Boko Haram with what we had, but it proved abortive. So we have to recalibrate our security architecture. That was what we've done. Up to this time, we have not received all what we have paid for, but at least we've gotten about 65 to 70%. And of course, that's why the prosecution of the war is getting better every day. It is not that I waited. It is wrong to say that we waited until election. This election would have been held 14th of March. 14th of February. You know that. So it is not that one waited for the election. In that case, this would have been done before that 14th of March. So it has nothing to do with election. I feel sad that as a nation we play politics with serious national issues. People must separate serious issues that affect all Nigerians from the politics. Jonathan is a president today, some other person will be president tomorrow. Nigeria is our own country. We must serve the country before we can have a president. No matter what you want to do for Nigeria. If you look at the history of this country from, some of you are very young people, but the good thing is that you are well educated. So you read about history, you know what happened in the 18th century, 19th century, and the 20th century. From 1960 that we gained independence, as at that time, very few people went to school. So a number of young people were involved in governance, as at that time, because very few people were educated. And so the young educated people were involved. When we had the military coup that led to the Gowon administration, Gowon became the head of government at the age of 32 going 33. It was less than 33 years when he became head of state, so a young person, a youth. In my state, then the old River State, the HSP was our first military governor. It was less than 29 years. It was 28 going 29. And he was a governor. Today, if you say that the 30 years old person should be a governor, people will say, oh, he's too young. But the HSP was the governor of the old River State, combining President Bayelsa and the River State at the age of 28 plus. But after that, a number of people secure university administration and university degrees, and it becomes an issue of old or elderly people running. But within this period, we have a robust plan for the young people. We have a number of programs involving young people. In the first place, we have increased the number of universities that we have in the nation. We added 14 new universities to create opportunities for young people to get university degrees. We are also training young people within the country and outside the country in technical areas. Of course, you have the records. But one area that we're also passionate about is creating the future young millionaires and billionaires through our YOWIN program and the Nangrepreneurs, the Agri program. Because we know that globally, the average age of millionaires is about 35 years, globally. So people about that bracket there are more millionaires about that age, maybe because of the information, communication, ICT and others. And we introduced that program to raise the number of young people that will be the future millionaires. The people like Dangote, the Jimovias, they're not growing younger. So you must bring younger people that can take over from them. And we give grants to young people to to venture into manufacturing and other areas of commerce and industry, and they are doing well. It's like a venture capital. Ordinarily, venture capital, you normally have almost 50% failure rate. But the You Win program is less than 10% failure rate. It's very, very substantial. We're also encouraging young people in the entertainment industry, in sports. And what our commitment is that in any area that a young person has the skills and the talent, you will be encouraged. Those who are interested in taking us to the moon, because I believe in the next 15 to 20 years, we should also be there. And we are training those young people also. That's why we have special scholarship. We select from among first-class products. First of all, you have to get first class in the technical areas. Of course, I think it's including economics and so on. Then you are subjected to some selection. We are sending them to the best universities in the world. That is to get the top level of brains that can take us to the moon or in areas of molecular biology or genetics. So we are doing everything to make sure that the Nigerian youth will be at the top globally. And let me reassure our young people and indeed Nigerians that the issue of power, I think we have reached the level, it's like the tipping point. Before this time, the federal government had absolute control of the power sector, 100% control. Even states are not allowed to generate power for commercial purposes. States can generate power for rural free electrification projects, but for commercial purposes, by our laws, it's only the federal government. So we are now moving away from a federal government 100% of absolute control of the total value chain in the power sector. We are moving away from to the private sector, total control of the value chain from generation, transmission to distribution. We've done the privatization successfully. And at least one thing that makes me happy is that that is a process that key players, businessmen and women from all over the world participated. And all of them agreed that it was transparent, it was done professionally, and just what could have been done anywhere in the world. And we've done that. The remaining thing is managing the interface between federal government control to the private sector control. And we promise that we're already on it. In the next 12 to at maximum 18 months, we'll be able to transit completely. Already some electric companies have doubled their production. So I plead with Nigerians that, of course, we're almost at the end of this issue of epileptic power supply. And I believe in the next 12, maximum 18 months, power will be reasonably stable, that our young men and women can watch such programs from wherever they are. When I grew up, when Pojo, the pan, manufacturing the Pojo cars in Nigeria, all government vehicles were Pojo cars. But now what happened is because of the security challenges, at least that time the country is a bit calm. But if you were, even the governors, I remember the first car I used as a deputy governor of Bayelsa State was a Peugeot car. Immediately after our elections, because after the election, it was a transitional period, the military was in charge. Then after elections in December 98, January 99, the inauguration was May 99. So for about 5 months, 6 months, we were just elected governors, elected deputy governors, and so on, but we were just floating. And even the car that was given to me from the Bayelsa State government then was the Peugeot car. The governors were using Peugeot cars. There is no reason why we shouldn't use these cars. So now that we have stimulated the auto industry, we will surely ensure that they produce the caliber. The only thing what we're using now is the security issues. And I believe in the next few months, or not more than a year, they will be able to produce cars in Nigeria that all government officials, from the president down, will use. I will definitely prefer to ride in a car produced in this country. One area that is key to all of us is health. Because when you are sick, that you will really appreciate the value of health. And there's no government that will not take the health sector seriously. The health sector is divided into two components. The primary health sector, these are the basic health needs of all of us. Then the tertiary ones, for example, the issues of kidney transplant, heart operations, neurosurgery, and so on. In fact, those are the areas where a number of Nigerians go outside this country, what sometimes is described as health tourism. A number of Nigerians go to India, go to Egypt, of course, go to Europe and others. On both fronts, we are approaching it aggressively. At the level of the basic health issues, presently we have completely eradicated guinea worm. It has been a problem in some parts of this country, problem to the world. Just like you mentioned polio. I remember in 2011 when I was in Australia, when we had the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. The Commonwealth had a special session on polio because the world was wondering, why should we still have deformed children for a problem or a disease condition that we can control? As at that time, the whole world, only 5 countries still incubate polio. Unfortunately, Nigeria was among. Nigeria, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. And I promise that Nigeria must get out of polio. We would have gotten out of polio in 2014, but there was some wrong interpretation of the vaccines that were used, especially in the northern part of the country. Some people, including a professor, I almost sacked the professor, preached that polio reduced the reproductive rate of women. And in fact, some of the officials of government that were doing the immunization were attacked and even killed. So that gave us some setback. But as we are talking now, the last polio case was recorded in Kano in June last year. So we are almost out. India and Pakistan, 2013, the World Health Organization declared them free of polio. God willing, this year will also be declared. At the tertiary health level, where a lot of Nigerians travel abroad, what people describe as health tourism. When I was the deputy governor of Bayelsa State, my younger sister, though she died later, had some problems with her heart, her mitral valves. And I asked my personal physician, where do we send this lady to? And I was told that the nearest place was the hospital in Ghana. So I said that all our teaching hospitals cannot do this. We have to go to Ghana. So yes, there is a hospital in Ghana that is managed by some missionary doctors and so on and so forth. But now, some of our university teaching hospitals are handling open heart surgery. They can do that. Some of our teaching hospitals are handling kidney transplants. It was not there before. In fact, University of Benin started good work in use of stem cells, but because of the human rights issues associated with stem cells, they suspended the work. Most hospitals all over the world suspended the use of stem cells because of the issues of human rights. So both at the primary health level and tertiary health level, we are doing well and will even improve on that because we believe that a country like Nigeria should have very good health facilities that neighboring countries should come, not the other way around. All over the world, governance is a serious business. And that is why people feel that a tenure of a president or a governor, when elections are getting close, you spend the greater part going round. And of course, if the president or the governor is going around for campaigns, governance will suffer. And that is why, after inaugurating a president, you spend more time governing the country. I would have loved to. In fact, even people have promised that I will go around the 6 geopolitical zones, even quarterly, to have what we call the town hall meetings and so on. But sometimes it's almost impossible. In fact, for this program, I promised my aides I was going to be here 1 hour before the time, so that we start exactly 7 dot. But it was not possible. That is just for today. So if a president will hold this kind of fora regularly, of course the country will suffer in so many ways. And that is why in most cases all over the world, when it is getting close to elections, almost like close the government down, then start going around to campaign. For this administration, we have been using a number of young people in one way or the other. But I think the issue is maybe to increase the number. As a nation, in terms of young people getting involved in governance, yes, a number of young people are involved in governance. At the local government level, in most states, from the chairman down, are young people. At the state level, in most states, more than 80% of the state assemblies are very young people. The commissioners at the state level, too, a number of them are very young people. It's at the federal level that you see that most of the ministers are fairly elderly. I have the youngest minister, he has left to be the governor of deputy governor of his state, my minister of state 2 for foreign affairs, Dr. Nuruddin from Jigawa State, who is the youngest member of my cabinet. But I think I will increase the number of young people in the next government. At the advisory level, my senior special assistant on youth and student matters is a very young person. Just finished his master's degree, then we brought him in. My assistant in job creation is also a very young person from Benue State. So we have young people at that level. But even at the cabinet level, the cabinet ministerial level, I think will increase the number. But young people are playing significant roles in the government.